Do I need new books? Technically, no. However, today we're not talking about need. We are talking about wants. There's just something about Barnes & Nobles that just makes me so happy. So who cares if I have a ton of books I haven't even touched yet from the last time? The goal for today is to really get about 5 to 8 books, which isn't that bad, guys. It's not that bad. For the past few weeks, I've been writing down a list of books that I've heard other people talk about. I've looked into them a bit and they sound interesting. So I do have certain books in mind, but I'm also open to finding new things that I haven't heard about yet, because I think that's where the real magic lies. So I'm gonna get up, get dressed, get ready to go, and I'll see you guys at the bookstore. Also, can we just talk about how cute my blue light glasses are? Amazon, baby. I am happy to say there's barely anyone here, so we're gonna have the entire store to ourselves. Someone is watching me film myself right now, but that's fine. It's only one person this time. Hey, how you doing? We know what today's mission is. Spend more money than we have. We always execute, but that is the mission today. My goal today is to get at least 5 new books. I'm done with about 4 books already on my list now, on my TBR list that I have at home, but you can never have too many books. So I'm gonna go for 5 today, at least 5 to 7, and hopefully we can accomplish that today. So let's get going. I am on a mission, and I won't be stopped until my wallet hates me. Remember when I said, you know, we're gonna go in there, get about 5 books? Well, we may have slightly overdid it. And when I say slightly, I mean my bag broke in the middle of the street as I was trying to get back to my car because I bought too many books. I may have a problem. But lucky for you, I think having a book addiction makes me quirky, so I have no plans of stopping. Let's go through all my new books. All right, let's start. Number 1. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. So this is apparently a love story, but it's not just a love story. It's about like growing up in life, trying to figure out who you are, the idea of loving and wanting to be loved, being yearned for, things like that. And I've heard amazing things. I am very, very excited for this one. Number 2, Lessons in Chemistry. I heard last year this was like the #1 best-selling book in Barnes & Nobles, and I meant to pick it up last year, but I just never got around to it. And when I saw it this time, I was like, all right, let me just get it. Let's see what it's about. And apparently she is a chemist and she turned into a chef towards the end of her life. It's kind of witty and funny, and it's just about her navigating the rest of her life. And I think it's also about love too. I don't like to look too much into books because I like to be surprised. So I didn't look too much into it. I just heard it's very, very good. Number 3, Book Lovers, and this is by Emily Henry. This is my first Emily Henry book, but again, I've heard very good things about it. It is another romantic book. So it says, Nora Steffen's life is books. She's read them all, and she is not the type of heroine, not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine to are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister, Libby. Which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the month of August, when Libby begs for her sister's trip away. With visions of a small town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story, but instead of picnics and meadows or run-ins with a handsome country doctor or bulging four-on bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It would be a meet-cute, if not for the fact that they've met many times and it's never been cute. Ooh. Okay. If Nora knows she's not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero, but as they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences, no editor worth their salt would allow what they've discovered might just unravel the carefully crafted stories they've written about themselves. Sounds very cute. I'm very excited about that one. Then I got Things We Never Got Over, because Lucy Score is like a book talk favorite, a booktube favorite. I am currently reading By a Thread by Lucy Score as well, and I already love this. I love her writing. I love the banter she has between the two romantic characters, so I think this is going to be good because she's just an amazing writer. But I did not read the back of it, so let's read it. Knox Morgan doesn't tolerate drama, especially in the form of a stranded runaway bride. Naomi Witt is on the run, not just from her fiance and a church full of well-wishers, but from her entire life. Although if you ask her, Naomi's riding to the rescue of her estranged hot mess twin, Tina, to Nakamau, a rough-around-the-edges town where disputes are settled the old-fashioned way, with fists and beer, usually in that order. Too bad for Naomi, her evil twin hasn't changed at all. After helping herself to Naomi's car and cash, dang, it'd be your family, Tina leaves behind something unexpected, the niece Naomi didn't know she had. Imagine! Now she's a guardian to an 11-year-old going on 30 with no car, no money, and no plan. Dang, life comes at you fast. There's a reason this bearded bad boy barber doesn't get involved with high-maintenance women, especially not type A romantic ones. But since Naomi's life imploded right in front of him, the least Knox can do is help her out of her jam. And just as soon as she stops getting into new trouble, he can leave her alone and get back into his quiet, solitary life. At least that's the plan. Oh, it already sounds so good. I'm very excited about that. Lucy Score is an incredible writer, and I can tell that it's going to be one I like. Now, next one up, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 5. Dang, guys. Kind of did some damage. All right. Next one is To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Now, I had to get this because Netflix made this into a movie series. So I think there was like 3 different movies. Yeah, I think there's 3 movies, and hopefully I like this just as much as the movie because I can rewatch those movies over and over again. I really am a hopeless romantic at heart, so I had to get the book because I wanted to stay in that storyline for a little bit longer. Next up is Normal People by Sally Rooney. It's also a Hulu original series. I did not know that until I just looked at the sticker. But this is the classic love story where the guy is super popular, the girl is kind of a loner, they're in a small town, and then they come together and fall in love. I love a little small town romance, so I was definitely a sucker for this, and everyone said it was gonna be good, so I'm excited. Next up is The Maid. Now, this year and towards the end of last year, I really started to get into mysteries a lot more, or like thriller-like books, because though I love my romance books as much as the next person, I do want to kind of branch out a little bit. So I got another mystery book. It's called The Maid by Anita Prose, and this is about a maid who cleans up after people in a really nice hotel. One day she walks into the room of someone super rich, and when she goes in, he's dead. And because she's very like type A and loves to clean, she's kind of like weird a little bit, they already suspect that she's the person who murdered him, even though she's innocent, and she's trying to prove that she's innocent. And this book just like follows that story. I don't know, it sounded interesting, and I kind of liked that storyline, so I'm excited to see if it lives up to the hype. The next one is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I've never heard of this book, but it was on the popular bookshelf section of Barnes & Noble, so I think it's popular. It's about this girl. She dies at this masquerade ball that her parents put on for her, and this guy named Aiden has to wake up every day and figure out who killed her. So he lives the same day over and over again, and every day he wakes up as a new guest, and they go through that storyline trying to figure out who did this to her. And I don't know, I've never read a book like that. It sounds super interesting and unique, and I'm kind of getting more into the thriller side of books, so I'm excited to see how this one turns out. Then I got Everything Everything. This is by Nicola Yoon, I think that's how you say it. And it's about this girl who has a very rare disease. She cannot leave her house, and she just lives with her mom and her nurse. I believe they made this into a movie, but I'm not 100% sure. Regardless, she lives in her house with her mom and her nurse. She can't leave the house, and she is fine like that. She's living like that normally until this guy moves in next door and she falls in love with him. And it's following their love story in that way, and like how this disease is kind of getting in the way of her falling in love with him. So I don't know, it kind of sounds cute. Now, I know this is popular, but I haven't heard anything about it. The only reason why I got it is because Taylor Jenkins Reid also wrote The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I recently just finished that, and oh my god, she's an incredible writer. That book, I did not have high expectations for it at all. I finished it in a day. It was so good. So I'm like, girl, whatever you write, I'm gonna buy. Next up is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Now, this one is interesting. It's not like any book I've ever read before, and it says, under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at a New England college discover a way of thought and life a world away from their banal, yikes, contemporaries. But their search for the transcendent leads them down a dangerous path beyond human constructs of morality. That's all I read, and I was hooked. So I was like, it's not like a book I've ever read. It sounds very interesting. Let's give it a try. And last but not least is really good, actually. Can we just talk about this cover? It is so beautiful, so well made. I feel like everyone has been here before. Everyone has looked like this, trying to get their life together. It just spoke to me. It's one of the new fiction books. I've never read a book by Monica Heasey. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. So it says, a hilarious and painfully relatable debut novel about one woman's messy search for joy and meaning in the wake of an unexpected breakup, from comedian, essayist, and award-winning screenwriter Monica Heasey. I feel like we've all been there. We've all been down on our luck. Everything's going wrong, but you kind of try to find the humor in it. You also try to get through it the best that you can. You learn a few lessons, and I think this is a book that will be just the perfect thing for me. So we got in total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books today, and we were shooting for 5. I'm not trying to be an overachiever or anything, but not bad, right? I'm excited to read all of these books. Thank you so much for going to the store with me. If you liked the video, please give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next book vlog. Adios! It might help if I turn off the camera. Bye!